Hi, everybody. I am Mary Copeland. I'm your instructor for the fall semester. So I just wanted to give you a brief overview of the class, where to go, what to do, and how things work. I also wanted to show you the textbooks. So this is our textbook, Asking the Right Questions. That's what it looks like. We start this the second week of class, and we use it every single week. We do exercises from the book, so you do need to get the book. And then this one is Just Mercy. This is the novel that we're reading. And you can wait a few weeks to get this. We don't start reading it till about the 6th week of class. The ISBN numbers are listed on the syllabus. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen with you and go over some things in the class. So this is what you're going to see when you log in every time. It may change slightly. I might put little new pictures or something up, but this is what the class will look like. So a couple things to notice. You want to read this. I do have a link to the student office hours, the dates, the orientation that I'm going to talk about in a minute. The other thing that you'll get, that if you've had Canvas before, I'm sure you're familiar with the to-do list over here. I think the to-do list is great. It's a really good reminder of the things that you should be working on. But I think too many times students just click on those links and try to do the assignment without reading through the module. So I can't emphasize enough the importance of reading through the modules. Every single week, I will post a new module that will have new assignments, new readings, new information. So you want to be sure and do that. And all the work that you do, whether you're taking a quiz, whether you're writing an essay or something, that's all in the modules. So I'm going to click on that and just go over. So I've got some resources for you here. The student office hours are Mondays and Thursdays. That's when I'll be online. You can just click on the link. I will be online at that time starting next the week of the 23rd. So you can always come to those office hours if you have a question on an assignment, if you need some help with something. In the resources, I did make up a reading schedule. So for the 2 books that I showed you earlier. So this is just where you're expected to be at each week. You know, we might have a discussion on week 4 about chapter 4 or something like that. So you just want to be up on the reading schedule. I have a bunch of MLA sources and MLA information. All the essays that you write need to be formatted in MLA documentation. If you've never done that before, could be a bit of a challenge for you, but I do have a lot of resources. Just about any question you have on MLA formatting can be answered on some of these links. So, you know, there's resources. If you have further questions, let me know. The Writing Center is a great tool for that as well. Up here under student resources, I have links to things like the Writing Center, Tech Desk, all of that. So you want to look through all those things. So the orientation module just kind of tells you what to expect as far as, you know, the amount of work that we'll be doing, you know, how many essays we'll do. I will say that, well, I'll cover that in a minute when I get to the syllabus. If you've never taken an online class, there's a video that you can watch that could be really helpful. I have some videos on how to set your Canvas notifications to get the notifications that you want. So you can always watch that. A link for Office 365. As a student at Valley, you automatically have you're supposed to automatically have Office 365, but this is how you will get Microsoft Word to be able to write your essays. So if you haven't already set up your account, sometimes there's issues with that. So if you haven't already done it, you might try setting it up. If you have trouble, you need to contact the help desk so that they can make sure that you get linked in and set up with Office 365. Little something about me, meet your classmates. So the first week of class, I'd like you to go to our virtual wall. So this is a little assignment where you just click on meet your classmates over here. So I'm going to click on that. And it will take you just to our virtual class wall where you can upload a picture of yourself, tell us something about yourself. This is more, just of a icebreaker, get to know each other. So I posted mine. If you're super against posting a picture of yourself, you can always post a picture of something that represents you. And the way to do that is to click on that plus sign and then just upload your stuff and you're good to go. This syllabus, this isn't the actual syllabus. What I say in here is I get that reading over the syllabus is boring. And my hope is from the links that I've provided on the actual syllabus module is that you kind of read about the syllabus as you dive into the class. And I'll talk more about that later. And then your first week's assignments, I have kind of a funny video. And then I have a more serious video. What does it take to change a mind? And then we have our first discussion. So it's really just kind of an orientation week and getting going. But you want to be sure to read those and watch the videos. Be sure to read the instructions. But the one thing that you probably want to do when you're doing your discussion is read the discussion guidelines in the syllabus. I don't know. Here's the instructions, but I also have a link to the discussion guidelines. So if you're not sure, how much to write or who to write to or whatever, this is always, you can just click on that link and it'll take you to the discussion guidelines. So now I'm going to go to the syllabus and just go over a couple of things. Not going to go over stuff like the course description or stuff. There is a list of the required textbooks. How much time will this class take? So if this were an on-campus class, you'd spend about 4 hours of class each week, two-hour day classes. And then you're also expected to spend about 8 hours a week on outside of class. That's reading, writing essays, all that kind of stuff. So combined, that's about 12 hours a week. So that's just a good, it's going to vary from week to week, but that's a good guide to keep in mind as we move through the class. So, computer crashes, read about that. I recommend reading that right away because, it's an online class. Invariably, something's going to happen. Canvas is going to go down. Your computer is going to crash. The power is going to go out. Something is going to happen. And so read what to do in the case of technological emergencies ahead of time. But really what you want to do is be prepared, have a backup plan. And if you were working on an assignment and something happened, you can always email me the assignment to show me that you did the assignment, but for whatever reason, you were just struggling with, loading it or something. Special accommodations, if you are a DSPS student and you need some additional accommodations, just email me, let me know, and we'll talk about that. You can look at those policies. Attendance, you want to read your attendance policy. Discussions count as attendance each week, so you want to make sure you keep up with that. You don't want to miss more than 3 discussions. Grading is pretty, I grade on a regular scale, and 90% and up is an A. But I don't grade on a point system for overall points for the class. I grade on a weighted system. So like your first essay is worth 5, it's 100 points, but it's worth 5% of your grade. Whereas essay 2 is also 100 points, but it's worth 10% of your grade. So you can't go strictly by how many points you have as to what your grade in the class is. But your grades are always, on the left-hand side, you can click on your grades and see how you did. You always want to read my feedback. I give a lot of feedback on essays, so you want to be sure and read the feedback that I give you on those. Discussion guidelines, etiquette, we're in the online environment. Sometimes it's easy to forget the human. So read over that, but you're expected to always be polite and respectful to other people in the class, even when we disagree, and it's okay to disagree. And some would argue, and I'm in that group that says, you know, if we disagree, that's a good thing because that's how we learn, but it's also important to do it in a respectful way. Academic honesty is, you know, addressing plagiarism. The school, I have links there to the school's plagiarism policy. You know, ultimately it comes down to doing your own work. And so you want to read the policy on plagiarism there. And college level material. So I always tell students, if you have an issue with something that might be considered PG or R rated, then maybe this class isn't for you. The book Just Mercy, it's a true story of a man who works with people who are incarcerated, typically people of color on death row or incarcerated youth, and the challenges there. And so, you know, a lot of it is some difficult material, whether it's violent or sexual abuse or those sorts of things. So we do read about that sort of thing. If that's difficult for you, you might want to think about taking a different class because I can't change the assignments that we work on, you know, to fit, you know, different students. So just something to keep in mind. Other than that, student resources, good place for help if you need it. You can always email me if you have any other questions or concerns. And I think that's all I have to go over today. And I look forward to our semester together.